Hello, everyone. I'm Zabi Barnes, seashell yogi, mystic, shaman, and alchemy teacher. And today we're going to be talking about the fourth layer of the aura, which is called the astral layer. And this is the layer through which we love our fellow human beings. This layer extends between 6 and 12 inches from the body, which would be between 15 and 30 centimeters for those of you in other countries. The astral layer does a whole lot of things, and it is the gateway from the more physical material plane layers of the aura into the more spiritual layers of the aura. So in this series, we're going to be looking at 4 spiritual layers of our energy field, and this is the first of those 4. It is necessary to pass through this layer in order to get to all of the others. So it is the layer through which we love each other. It is the layer through which we create attachments to the people that we most care about. So this is also the layer through which we may be creating inappropriate attachments, what some people may call energy cords. And let me just say something about energetic cords. Some of them are appropriate and some of them are not. So for example, it is appropriate to have an energetic cord to your children, to your family members, to your husband or your wife or your significant other or your pets. Those energy cords help us co-create with each other, help us take care of each other. So they're not a bad thing unless they are starting to drain you of your energy, and then it can become a problem. So, for example, you go through a breakup and you can't stop thinking about your ex. Well, that's because there's still that inappropriate energetic cord, that cord that at one time was right to have, but now that the relationship's over, that cord doesn't belong there anymore. So this layer of the aura is where we can heal any of those inappropriate attachments. It's where we can do cord cutting, but we don't want to do cord cutting for everybody in our life. We want some of those cords to remain in place, the ones that are the people that really resonate with us and support us, and that we are supported by supporting them. Many interactions happen through the astral plane, our interactions with others. Before we even talk to somebody, we're already connecting with them through the astral layer of our aura, and this is why we are automatically repelled by some people and drawn to others. So when you're wanting to have a conversation with somebody or connect with somebody, you can consciously work with this layer of your aura to make sure that it's clear, that your intentions are clear in that connection, and then connect with them first through the astral layer of the aura so that your energies can blend together before you even have a conversation. And then those conversations are going to go much better. They're going to be much more supportive for both of you. And hopefully they're going to come from a place of love, because this is the layer that is fed by the heart chakra. So this is the layer through which we love each other first and foremost. We are spiritual beings having a physical experience, which means that we are designed to navigate both heaven and earth. We are designed to be able to navigate and function in the material physical plane while still being open to the higher spiritual realms. And this layer of the aura, the astral layer, is the layer that is the key to being able to navigate back and forth from earth to spirit, from spirit back to earth. Heaven and earth blend through the astral layer of the aura. So remember in the first recording, I talked about how some of us are stronger in some layers of the aura and some of us are stronger in others. And so if you're really, really spiritual and you have trouble working in the physical plane, you first want to master this layer of the aura as a way to descend in your energy, to bring those spiritual energies down to earth where they can be used in more practical ways. And if you are a person who's really good in your more physical layers of the aura, the three layers that we've already fully talked about, then you want to focus on opening this fourth layer of the aura, the astral layer, and getting really strong in it, because it is the gateway that will take you into the next three layers of the aura, the higher spiritual energies in your life. So the astral layer of the aura, the astral subtle body, is connected to the astral plane. And there's a lot of misunderstanding about what is the astral plane. So I'm going to share with you what I know about it. The astral plane is where we go when we're sleeping. It's where we go when we dream. And sometimes we have good dreams and sometimes we have bad dreams. Sometimes we have happy dreams. Sometimes we have unhappy dreams. This is because all possibilities exist on the astral plane. They're possibilities. It doesn't mean that they are going to materialize in physical plane reality. They are merely possibilities. And so if you have hung out with people who were engaging in some kind of drug use, you might have noticed that some of them had really happy trips and some of them had negative trips where they experienced something scary or they got paranoid from it. Well, in both cases, what those drugs were doing was taking them straight to the astral plane. And they may have thought that they were going to a higher spiritual place, but really they were stuck on the astral plane where all possibilities exist. So people who were experimenting with LSD or peyote or ayahuasca or even marijuana use, that is taking people to the astral plane, and they're having life-changing experiences sometimes, but they're doing it through the astral subtle body and not through the higher levels of the aura, even if they tell you that they are. And so I really want you to think about this astral subtle body as a gateway, not as a place to get stuck. You don't want to get stuck in all of the possibilities. You want to move through those possibilities into your highest potential. And that is what is possible when we have a clear, strong astral body. It's important to strengthen those first three layers of the aura so that as we open up into the astral body and the other more spiritual layers of the aura, we can ground in those energies. And that's what happens a lot with people who are just playing around in the astral plane. If they're not also grounded in their physical connection to the earth and they're not grounded in their emotions or in their thoughts, then they're going to have a weird trip through that astral plane. If they're just hanging out in the astral part of their aura, they're going to end up loving the wrong people. They're going to end up loving things that are not so good for them. And so I want you to get really clear on your intentions of how do you want to be with your astral subtle body. I hope that you want it to be connected with your other bodies so that you're not just floating around like a balloon in space, that instead you're able to open that full love inside of yourself and put it to use and have it be used in a meaningful way. It is through the astral subtle body that we love and appreciate our own body, that we can love and appreciate our family and our tribe and our community and our city and our country and our planet. It is through the astral subtle body that we express creativity and love. We feel it. We feel creativity. We feel love, love for the creative process. It is through this body that we appreciate the people with whom we co-create. Through this subtle body, we experience self-respect and self-care because we can love ourselves. We can forgive ourselves and be kind to ourselves and forgive and be kind to others through this subtle body. We can love the process of communication and love others enough to share our personal truth with them and to let them share their truth with us without judging and without the fear of judgment. Through this subtle body, we can open to the ideas of others. We can be open-minded through this subtle body. And this is also where we can experience selflessness, where we make the choice to serve the highest good of all. All of this happens through the astral subtle body. Now, some negative things can also happen through this subtle body. This is the layer through which we experience entity attachments. And this is where energies and beings that are not part of us can attach to us in a way that drains our energy. So when we do exorcism or boogie busting, whatever you want to call that deep soul clearing, when we do that kind of work, we're doing it through this subtle body because this is where those attachments take root, those unwanted attachments. Healing modalities that are good for working with this layer of the subtle body are, of course, we already mentioned cord cutting. Also, hypnotherapy and past life regression work really well through this layer of the aura. And also shamanic journeying. We go on shamanic journeys through our astral subtle body. And one other thing that I haven't talked about yet is working in dream time, or what some people call night school, other people call it dream time. This is something that I teach my students in my seashell shaman training and in other classes, is how to consciously work in dream time. A lot of the work that I create, a lot of the work that I put together for you, I first do in dream time. I learn from other people in dream time. I go to sleep at night with an intention to learn a specific thing, and in the morning I wake up and I know it. And sometimes it's really technical, really like how do I create the images for my seashell cards when I know nothing about photography or Photoshop or anything like that? Well, the way I learned how to do that was I went to dream time with the people who knew how to do it, and then I woke up knowing what to do and what to Google and how to figure it out. So I live my life every day by asking to work on something very specific in dream time, and that work happens through the astral layer of the subtle bodies in conjunction with the lower subtle bodies. That's the key, to remember what you did in dream time or in night school. It's really important that you bring all of your lower bodies with you so that you can remember what you did. Otherwise, you're having all of these great experiences in the astral plane without remembering them, and that's not as useful. So I'm a Capricorn. I just had my birthday a couple days ago, and I am all about practical. How do we use these woo-woo energies? So the astral body is the vehicle through which you can practically experience the astral plane if you choose to. So right now I invite you to take inventory. How are you with the energies of the astral subtle body? How openly do you love? How clearly do you experience possibilities and put those possibilities to work in your everyday life? And remember that if you click the link below, you will find a PDF that lists chakra by chakra what happens in this subtle body. You will also find down below, you'll find the seashell healing cards that are designed to help strengthen and brighten each of the layers of the subtle bodies. You're going to use the same cards layer by layer by layer by layer. Remember, you can print them out, put them under your pillow, or you can hold them at a specific place in your aura. So you can pick a layer and hold the card out in that layer. You can pick a chakra at a specific layer and hold the card or cards at that particular chakra at that particular layer. Because what we're doing is we're working not only the subtle body, but the chakra interfaces of that subtle body. So I am encouraging you to keep playing with the cards, and keep noticing where you are strong and where you are weak in your energies. Because when we notice where we're strong, then we can celebrate that, and we can be a beacon of light for others. And when we notice where we're weak, we can open up to brightening and strengthening our light. Just by noticing where the weakness is, that's half of the healing right there. And as you notice, then you can work with the seashell cards to start the brightening and strengthening process. And then, of course, if you keep scrolling down on the page, you'll see where I give very specific recommendations for things that I offer that could help you strengthen and brighten even more each layer of your aura, your beautiful, brilliant aura. So I hope you have enjoyed learning about the astral subtle body, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. In the next 3 videos, we're going to focus more on the higher spiritual layers of the aura. And the next one, the very next one that we're going to do is the spiritual layer that relates to our physical well-being. So I look forward to seeing you again soon. Keep shining your light.